life, love, relationships.
Wait, we're gonna give away all our secrets?
Welcome to the Man Perspective
With K-Man.
and the Dawn.
Today on the Man Perspective, we're talking about depression. So when it comes to who gets depressed more, do you think it's men or do you think it's women?
Well, I want to say men get depressed more
Mm.
because men don't speak to each other as
Yeah.
much as women do. If a woman has a problem, they got a whole bunch of girlfriends they can get on the speed dial and talk to, and they can have a conference call.
That's true.
Most guys, they don't do that. And the reason why I say they don't do that, because if you look at the news, when you look at all these shootings and everything that's happening, a lot of it is mental illness, depression. They
Yeah.
don't speak to nobody. When they ask them about this person, well, how was Johnny, growing? Oh, you know what? Johnny was a loner. Johnny didn't talk to nobody. He didn't talk to his neighbors. He kept quiet. He didn't say a word. Then all of a sudden he goes into a movie theater and shoots up 30, 40 people. Or he goes to a high school, well, what happened with Billy? Well, Billy was a loner. He didn't have any girlfriends, didn't have any friends, right? He was always by himself. And all of a sudden he goes into the school one day and just he's depressed and just starts shooting everybody. Whereas women, you don't hear. I can't even remember, and stop me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've ever heard of a woman going in somewhere and doing a mass killing. Like a shoot, like going into a movie theater and shooting anybody, or going into a park and shooting up something, or going into a school or something like that and shoot up a whole bunch of people.
Not that I can recall ever hearing.
I don't think any woman I could think of that has done that. It's
No,
never come
me
from the
neither.
women's side. It's always been from the man's side.
Yeah, agree.
At least to my knowledge. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't heard of any woman doing any mass killings like that.
I can't recall ever a time hearing something like that where it was a female that did it.
So the man, or most men, get depressed easily because we don't have that outlet. We don't have that, that speak of.
It's 2021. We made it, folks. We made it. Oh, we made it. I hope everybody has nothing but success, good health, and the man perspective.
2021 is here, and it's going to be a great year. Glad you made it. Glad you're a part of it. And be part of the Man Perspective.
Tune in and get your weekly dose of the Man Perspective with K-Man
and the Don.
Now available on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Subscribe, like, and listen. Unless it's a case where women kind of suffer in silence as far as depression goes, that reaction is not in their natural nature, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they may, but they live with it for some reason. Like, even if they in a bad relationship or they're depressed at how things are, they still live with it.
Yeah.
Whereas with the man, his mode is anger. Like, there was one case a couple years back where a guy, I don't know if you read about it, his girlfriend left him or something. He lost his job and he ended up posting on Facebook Live about all of this, and he just walked up to the first person he saw, pulled out a gun and shot him on Facebook Live.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't hear that.
Because he was depressed, because his girlfriend left him, he lost his job. You know what I mean? It's like one after the other, and he just got to the point where he just flipped.
Dang.
And then he recorded it on Facebook, and a lot of people saw it too, Then he just grabbed like some old man or something he saw walking in the street and pulled out a gun and said, I can't take it, and shot the poor old man. I don't know if he turned the gun on himself. I can't remember if he did or didn't. And he was showing how angry he was. And a lot of it was because he was depressed. Lost his job. His girlfriend left him. I think he's getting evicted from his apartment or whatever. You know what I mean? It was like a whole chain ball of effects. It just went downhill for him. And he just had to the point where he just couldn't take it. He wanted to take it out on somebody, and that he did. And I don't know in the end result if he ever did. I think they was looking for him or they found him, and when they cornered him, he ended up shooting himself or something. I think that's the end result was, you know what I mean? Behind it, he ended up killing himself eventually, after they had him cornered. But the lying problem was, he was depressed, and that depression kicks in. It was like no reason to live. Like there was even a couple years back, I don't know if you remember, there was a guy that went to Washington D.C. and he set himself on fire. Remember seeing that? I don't know if you heard about that or saw about that.
I vaguely remember hearing something
Yeah, he
about
was
that.
depressed. Just couldn't take life anymore, and he set himself on fire. That was it. Some people put a gun to their head, blow their brains out, and can't take it anymore. They get depressed.
What's the name of that new podcast where they're talking about all the hot topics that most other podcasts won't talk about? The Man Perspective. Tune in, subscribe, like, and listen. Why? Because you got it. The Man Perspective with K-Man
and the Don. But it's not that serious. And that's what I try to tell people. It's really not that serious. And one, if people think about doing something like that, always remember that there's always somebody out there that has it worse than you. No matter how bad you may think you have it, trust me, there's somebody out there that has it worse off than you. And if you know that, that'll make you say, you know what? It's not worth it for me to take my own life because there's always somebody out there that's worse off than what I'm going through. Always. Always. I don't care whatever it is you're going through. I can name 10 people that's going through what you're going through and more.
Yeah.
So taking your life is not the way to do it because, you know what I mean? Nothing comes of it. But no matter how things are, you can do a 360-degree turn and go back up again.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and you know what? They can always reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. Sometimes talking about it, that alone helps.
Yeah, therapy. I mean, anything. You can get into therapy if you feel. There's always someone out there you can reach out to. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of 1-800 numbers for therapy or just for people who just want to talk. I know I saw this nice little app. I'll throw this out there when people are in that situation where they're really depressed and they don't think. I found this nice little app called 7 Cups. And it's free, number one, and you could talk to anybody you want to. Anybody you want to. You just put in there and you could chat and tell them what's going on. And what they do is they're what they call listeners. They listen, they'll respond, but they listen mostly to whatever it is you're going through. And that's been kind of therapeutic. Kudos to the person that came up and invented that app because I've used it. To be honest with you, I've used it just to chat and, say, hey, man, I'm kind of thinking about not killing myself, but just thinking about feeling bad about something or I'm depressed about something. And you could talk to, because sometimes you can't talk to that human person for whatever reason. Like sometimes you can't talk to your girlfriend. Sometimes you can't talk to another person or a friend, for whatever reason, because maybe you feel they're not going to understand or you just feel embarrassed about talking to them. 7cups.com. Check them out. Download the app and you can chat with whoever you need to chat with and it helps. You know what I mean? And if you feel depressed or whatever, that's one app that will help. And then there's others, of course. There's others out there. There's 1-800 numbers that you can call, to chat for depression. So definitely take advantage of it. Don't feel as though you're alone because I always tell people you're not alone. You're not the first to go through it. And trust me, you're not going to be the last.
Yeah,
you may think you're the last, but you're not. You're not going to be the last. There's other people out there who have it worse off than you. You just don't know about it.
Here's the man perspective. Now that's a question you should ask. We're right here where we've always been. I just figured I'd throw that out there. Tune into the man perspective.
It's about to get hot in here, so we're about to turn up the heat. Get your daily fix with the man perspective.
So tune into the man perspective.
With K-Man and the Don.
With K-Man
and the Don. So whatever you're going through, trust me, I can name 10 people that's going through what you're going through and more. You know what I'm saying? So when you know that makes you hopefully sit back and say, you know what? Life is worth living.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Life is definitely worth living. So take that to heed. But 7cups.com, check them out. I throw it out there. Good app. I've used it myself and there's nothing wrong with it. It's good. You want to talk to somebody, you could talk to a bunch of listeners, a bunch of people and vent your frustration or your depression on what's going on. And they can help you. They can definitely help you. Because like I said, whatever you're going through, there's a whole lot of people that's going through it much worse than you.
Very true.
So on that note, hit us up if you want to just talk. If y'all want to just chat, you can always reach us on the man perspective at gmail.com. We do respond. And so we like to hear what you think. That's what we're here for. And that's what this whole program's about. The man perspective. It's our perspective from a man's point of view, but we also want to give you other perspectives to think about as well. And that's the whole purpose of the man perspective, is that we like to listen. It's about life, love, relationships, build relationships, understand love, understand life, and live. And we all want you to live. So before y'all think about trying to take your life, just live. Hit us up on the man perspective at gmail.com and chat with us. We'd love to hear you. Reach out to us, the man perspective. Now you heard our perspective. It's time to hear yours. Get at us at themanperspective@gmail.com.
Or use the hashtag #TheManPerspective.